From the start of the 2024 season to the November 5th trade deadline, a total of 18 trades took place.
What was your reaction to the move here, and how's it been over the past few days?
Oh, it's exciting. Anytime, someone trades for you, that means that they want you and they see some potential in you. So
trades are a part of life. Some teams get fleeced, sometimes both teams lose out, but in rare instances, you can get trades where both parties come out a winner. Let's take a look at the 10 best win-win trades of this century, including one where someone's dad got involved, a couple that resulted in Super Bowl wins, and one player who was a part of 2 separate impact trades. Washington had their star cornerback, Champ Bailey, 5 years in the league, 4 Pro Bowls. The problem was that Washington's old coach from the 80s, Joe Gibbs, was back, and he'd be implementing his run-heavy offense. Interestingly enough, the Denver Broncos had a star in the making with the recently drafted running back Clinton Portis, 2 years in the league, both over 1,500 yards rushing. So Washington offered up Bailey and a second-round pick to Denver for Portis. Denver also needed an elite corner, so they couldn't turn it down. Portis was used just as Gibbs imagined, racking up several seasons of high-volume rushing, earning one more 1,500-yard season and several more over 1,200, contributing to the success of the team in a big way. And Champ Bailey, he came off 4 consecutive Pro Bowl seasons in Washington to have 3 consecutive first-team All-Pro seasons with Denver, solidifying their defense and becoming one of the best shutdown corners of all time. Acquiring an incredible talent like Jalen Ramsey, that's a team's dream. Seeing that talent become disgruntled, that can be a nightmare.
What you think? You tell me. You tell me.
This doesn't usually end well, but Jacksonville saw a solution. They found a trade partner in the LA Rams. LA was all too happy to acquire the all-pro cornerback, and they were also in their screw-them-picks era. They sent the Jags a first-round pick in each of the 2020 and 2021 drafts and a fourth-rounder. For Jacksonville, with those picks, they got a linebacker, an edge rusher, and star running back Travis Etienne Jr. They were happy with the haul. So was LA, considering they got over 3 years of high-level play from Ramsey. And without him, the Rams do not win that 2022 Super Bowl. But more on that later, because Ramsey wasn't the only acquisition that put the Rams over the top. To start his career, Jared Allen had 3 good years in Kansas City, followed by an excellent year where he led the NFL with 15.5 sacks and 19 tackles for a loss. But after that 4th year, there was a contract dispute. Allen wanted to be traded, and so Kansas City found a new home for him in Minnesota. The Chiefs got a first-round pick and 2 third-rounders. Surprisingly, the golden pick was one of the third-rounders. The Chiefs drafted the electric Jamal Charles, who played 9 years there, amassed the most rushing yards in Chiefs history, and achieved the highest career rushing yard average per attempt among all running backs with 5.4. When Charles was on the field, he was a demon. On the flip side, quarterbacks in the NFC would also tell you going up against Jared Allen, he was the devil. A dominant force in Minnesota for years. Allen even led the league in sacks once more in 2011 with 22, with the all-time record for sacks in a season being 22.5. Both cities in the central region were happy with this one. Welcome to the madness of John Lynch making moves for the Niners before the NFL draft.
Yeah, I didn't know I'd be good at it. I didn't even know I'd be doing it.
2020, San Francisco decided to part with the excellent defensive tackle DeForest Buckner, trading him to Indianapolis for the 13th overall pick. Then it got crazy. They traded the 13th pick to Tampa along with a 7th rounder to move down to the 14th pick and acquire a 4th rounder. They took that 4th rounder along with a 5th rounder and their existing 31st overall pick to trade with Minnesota to get the 25th overall pick, and finally, draft day. 14th overall, they got Javon Kinlaw, defensive tackle to replace Buckner at a cheaper cost, and 25th overall, they got Brandon Ayuk. Try to keep up with that if you can. Indy loved the Buckner acquisition. He had his first-team All-Pro season that year. He was a force. After all the mad scientist trading, San Francisco saw production from Kinlaw and loved the big playability Ayuk offered their high-powered offense, notching a couple 1,000-yard seasons. In the year 2000, the San Diego Chargers were bad. 1 win bad. The Atlanta Falcons weren't much better. Only 4 wins, but they wanted that number 1 pick that the Chargers were awarded. because there was someone special in that draft. Atlanta offered the Chargers their 5th overall pick, a 3rd rounder, a 2nd rounder for the next year, and their kick returner Tim Dwight, all for the number 1 pick. With that pick, the Falcons got Michael Vick. Before dual-threat quarterbacks like Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, there was the original Michael Vick. 4 different seasons of over 2,000 yards passing and 500 yards rushing, and even took the Falcons to the NFC Championship game. But there wasn't just one special player in that draft. The Chargers got LaDainian Tomlinson 5th overall. In 2005, Tomlinson achieved the touchdown triple crown, earning a rushing, receiving, and passing touchdown in one single game, one of only 14 to ever do that in the NFL. In 2006, he set the single-season rushing touchdown record with 28, still untouched. In 2007, he led the league in rushing yards and touchdowns for a second time, helped his team to an 11-5 record, and led them to the AFC Championship. LT finished his career with 13,684 rushing yards, 7th most ever. Eli Manning was the clear number 1 prospect coming into the 2004 NFL Draft, and even though San Diego had acquired Tomlinson a few years before, the Ole Miss quarterback had no interest in joining the Chargers. In fact, Eli and his former quarterback father, Archie Manning, made it clear before the draft that if San Diego drafted him, he would not play for them. But the Chargers had the number 1 pick, so they drafted him anyway. But the Giants wound up drafting Phillip Rivers with the 4th overall pick shortly after the two teams struck up a trade. The Chargers got Rivers, a 3rd rounder for that year, and a 1st rounder along with a 5th rounder for next year. New York got Eli. Eli had a tremendous career in New York, an Iron Man who never missed games, a clutch playoff performer, a 2-time Super Bowl winner, and one of the very few mortals who's ever slain Tom Brady. Phillip Rivers never made a Super Bowl, but his 16-year career with the Chargers is the best career a QB has ever had there. He holds all the major QB records for the Chargers, and when we look at all-time career passing yards and passing touchdown leaders, Eli Manning is 11th on both lists. Phillip Rivers is 6th on both. Stephon Diggs had 5 incredible seasons with the Minnesota Vikings.
Steps into it, pass is caught! Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown!
But he became disgruntled and wanted out. Minnesota didn't want to lose the receiver, but had no choice, really. So they made an incredible deal with Buffalo. Buffalo needed a number 1 wideout bad. So in a huge trade, the Bills got Diggs and a 7th rounder. Diggs helped Josh Allen take his game to the next level, helping Buffalo see much success in the regular season and the playoffs. Minnesota got a haul. In 2020, picks in the 1st round, 5th round, and 6th round. In 2021, a pick in the 4th round. But they had a huge hole at wide receiver. So with that 1st round pick, they selected Justin Jefferson. Have you seen what Justin Jefferson has done? And against the Bills, no less?
But we gotta look back at this. How does he maintain possession all the way through, not allow that ball to hit the ground?
Justin Jefferson is one of the league's best, if not the very best. Jefferson is the youngest player to hit 7,000 receiving yards. He owns that record all on his own. Buffalo was part of an even bigger trade, though. Kansas City was good in 2016. Evidence? They had the 27th overall pick in the 2017 draft due to a great record, but they weren't good enough. The Bills had the 10th overall pick, and the Chiefs wanted it. They got it after forking over their 27th overall pick, a 3rd round pick, and a 1st rounder for the next year, too. That 10th overall pick turned into Patrick Mahomes. You know him well. 5 Super Bowl appearances, 3 Super Bowl wins, 3 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 regular season MVPs, and he only just turned 30. But those picks the Bills got, they turned into 2-time Pro Bowler and 1-time All-Pro cornerback Tre'Davious White, 2-time Pro Bowl linebacker Tremaine Edmonds, and best of all, tackle Deion Dawkins. Deion Dawkins is one of only 4 offensive linemen to make the Pro Bowl each of the last 4 seasons. The perfect guy to protect Josh Allen. Going into the 2016 draft, the Titans had the number 1 overall pick, but they had drafted Marcus Mariota the year before, so they figured trading that pick away was a smarter move. The Rams were ready to take it. LA received the number 1 overall pick as well as a 4th rounder and a 6th rounder, and they gave the Titans a 1st, 2 seconds, and a 3rd rounder for 2016, and a 1st and a 3rd rounder for 2017. With that number 1 overall pick, the Rams got Jared Goff, Goff had an excellent career with LA, throwing for over 3,800 yards every season except his rookie year. He led LA to the playoffs 3 times, and even to the Super Bowl, ultimately losing to the Patriots. Meanwhile, the Titans turned one of the second-rounders into Derrick Henry.
Starts at the 1 and looking for a little breathing room, and they get that and plenty more. Derrick Henry still going. Stays in bounds. Might go. 99 yards for the touchdown.
Henry led the league in rushing yards and touchdowns twice with the Titans, notched one of only 9 2,000-yard rushing seasons in history, and at 31 is already 18th all-time in rushing yards. Henry was the driving force for Tennessee for years. Though Goff played well in LA, the Rams needed someone to get them over that hump, so he essentially became part of another huge trade as the Rams sent Goff, a third-rounder, and 2 future first-rounders to Detroit, all for Matt Stafford. Stafford came in and instantly lifted that offense up, balling out, leading the Rams to the Super Bowl, throwing no-look passes, and bringing a Super Bowl title to LA. But the Lions came out of that trade in great shape. Not only did they have Goff, but they managed to draft Jahmyr Gibbs, Jamison Williams, and Sam Laporta, revamping their entire offense and turning it into one of the most potent offenses in the league today. The Lions' success saw them hosting their first playoff game in 30 years, in addition to them making it all the way to the NFC Championship. And they're only just getting started. Who knows? Could they eventually turn that trade into more than just a win-win? Could we look back on that trade and say the Lions really came out on top? Thanks for watching. If you liked our video, be sure to subscribe and check out our other videos on the screen.